another episode of the Gus and Dave Show. Today we are joined by the one and only Tommy Gray from Presidential Heating and Air Conditioning. I've known Tommy for several years now, and we are so excited to have him join us today. We're going to be talking not all things heating and air conditioning, because quite frankly, I don't know that anybody has time for that. I mean, we could do that for days. But we're definitely looking to get some insight from him, especially with the upcoming spring season with regards to maintenance and some of the things that maybe they do. So, Gus, Tommy, good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Tommy, we are super excited to have you on the show. You're an amazing guy. You know your trade so well. I mean, it's incredible the amount of knowledge you have. It's so amazing. I mean, you've been to my office. You've even took care of the HVAC system here for us. And you know, it took you seconds to diagnose the issue. I mean, this is your thing, and you've been doing it for so long. Real quick, give us a context of what you do and how long you've been doing this.
So I work on anything air conditioning and heating. That includes boilers and furnaces and heat pumps and things that would take care of your heating or cooling for your house. And I've been doing this for 36 years. I'm a journeyman at this point. I graduated second in my class from Napa School in DC. It's an amazing thing. I really do. And thank you guys for having me, because I really do enjoy what I do.
That's awesome. Quick question. I want to clarify. Not to cut you off, Dave. I'm so sorry.
No.
36 years. Is that with the same company or different?
No. I've worked for 6 different companies in the 36 years. It's
Gotcha.
A couple of them had father issues, and then one of them was the World Bank downtown. I worked there for 12 until they decided that the guys there weren't. It was cheaper to get people from the outside to do it than people inside. So great.
How long have you been with Presidential?
10 years.
10 years with Presidential. That's a long time.
9 years and 5 months or something like that.
But who's counting?
That's a huge commitment. For
counting,
sure.
Right?
For sure. Sorry, Dave. Did you have something you wanted to?
Yeah, I was just curious. You mentioned you're a journeyman, right? For a layman like myself, right? What exactly does that mean? And what is that? How does that apply to your trade?
So we have 3 different ones. One is an apprentice, one's a journeyman, and one's the master.
Okay.
So I'm in the middle. So I'm like being a doctor that is a practicing nurse doctor.
Okay.
And then there'd be guys like EMT under me. And then there's the master that we work under, that he's got the master's license. He's been doing it, and he owns all that. So he's like the top. He's like the doctor of our company.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you're a doctor of your trade. I've had you out to my house before also, and there's no question, you know what you're doing, man.
Well, I tell that to people all the time, that, I come out, you invite me into your house. So I'm the doctor. I make house calls because your stuff is broke and you need me to fix it. So I'm the actual doctor that comes out to fix it for you on a house call.
I like it.
That's kind of pretty funny. They kind of laugh. I get the chuckle. Kind of brings things down to earth and down to a level where we're both talking to each other. Nobody's really upset about what's going on, or they're getting ready to spend money, or whatever the case may be. It just kind of puts them on a different level.
Yeah, for sure. So Tommy, we're approaching the spring season right now. Okay. A lot of people start looking into doing some spring maintenance on their HVAC systems. Others don't have a clue. So we want to talk to the people that really are clueless or not necessarily experienced with how to maintain HVAC units, not just for the spring, but overall throughout the year. But we wanted to mainly talk about what to do for the coming spring season.
Okay.
So I mean, the floor is yours. Let's address the spring season for now. What are the do's and don'ts?
Okay, the do's are called Presidential, so we can do your maintenance for you. That's a do.
Shameless plug, right?
Right. So get your system serviced. At least change your filter. Make sure that the drains are open, and whichever way you do that, but just make sure they're open, because those are the 2 most important things that could cause major problems. The drain, if the drain is clogged up and we're not getting the condensation out, it'll flood whatever you have there, especially if you don't have any safeties. The filter will make the coil freeze and not function properly because it's so stopped up that we can't get air across it. So you can't really, the system's not really breathing properly. Those are the 2 most important parts. If I had a third thing to tell you, is to start it early.
Okay.
If we have a couple warm days, and I'm talking warm days like in the 70s, start them up. Make sure they're going to start. A lot of times you can see if they're going to function properly just in that little short period of time, 1 or 2 days. Now, most people that have two systems and one's upstairs, like in their bedroom areas, we usually don't have a problem, because when it gets 72, 73, they're starting to turn them on because it's getting hot upstairs. So we usually get those first. But those are the three things that if I really had to give you clues to do, those are the three things that I would do right off the bat. Make sure, you do those three things, and before you do anything else, and go from there.
Sure. One of the things that I tell my clients all the time when they're in the middle of a home inspection or things like that, and they see the system, is obviously we talk about regular maintenance, right? And as Gus mentioned, we're coming up on the spring season. But one question I had is, I've always heard that you can't or you shouldn't turn on your air conditioning until the temperature is at a certain place, right? Because if it's too cold, it won't run properly and things like that. So with regards to having you come out and take a look at those units, I know you guys can get booked up pretty quickly. Is there a timing that makes sense to have that spring maintenance done?
Well, we've always said, and I've always said, that I'm looking for 72 to 75 is where I would really like to see that temp. Okay. Anything colder than 60, then the refrigerant levels don't act proper. Anything, past that, we know we're going to have a problem anyway if it's not there. So, 72 to 75 is what I really look forward to. I can't wait for the weather to get there so that we can start these maintenance. We're actually going to start some of our bigger jobs in March, even though we can have some cold spells in that, or it could be chilly. But those are the ones that we really have to look on, 72 to 75.
So go ahead.
And then in that aspect, just get it done in that period.
So should I call in, like if I wanted to schedule something, for example, because I'm an advocate for having systems maintained, they're expensive, right? You want to make sure they're running properly. If I wanted to, would you recommend I called and scheduled for like late April or early May? Should I just do that now so it's on the books? What do you recommend people do in that sense?
No, so if you're going to look for maintenance, right now is the time to schedule your maintenance for April or May.
Okay.
March, we don't do a lot of March because we do a lot of our bigger buildings in March. Now we do some, but some of the bigger buildings that we have, we start in March and we finish in March. So if you have a problem, of course, we're coming. But if you're looking for maintenance, that April, May is perfect timing. The temperature seems to be in a consistent temperature. Everything's starting to warm up in that April, May zone. We get a lot of 72, 75 days. But if you're going to think about doing it, now's the time. Get on the books, get the days that you want. And that's the whole thing. And the other thing that we have that a lot of companies don't have is we have an online scheduling. So you can go to our website, presidentialheat.com, and you can schedule your time that fits your time frames that you need, the date and the time. So that works really well for us. It's worked. We've had it now for the fall season. We'll have it again for the spring. It worked really well in the fall. And we can just fill the gaps in when everybody calls in, because we still have the purists that want to call in and talk to the human body. Hey Terry, how are you? Or hi Tommy, I know you're coming today. Things of that nature. Sure. So we still have those out there.
I gotcha. So I just want to go back to the maintenance. So a lot of homeowners are DIYers, right? They like to go to the big box store. They like to buy their filters themselves, and they want to do that, maintenance, if you will, on their own. Now, you mentioned, making sure it's not clogged up. So me, as the average homeowner, how do I know if my system is clogged up or not?
Well, it would be
what are the things I need to be looking at or looking for?
Well, if you start it early, is it cooling? Okay, like if you get in that 72 to 75 degree and you look at it and hold your filter up to the light and it's really clean and you can still see through it, and you're still not getting cooling, then that's the time to call, because now it's working. And let us as the professionals take care of your system for you from that point on.
Okay, so it's just to clarify, so if I replace my filter and I see that everything is cooling and everything's working in proper order, I'm good to go.
Well, could be, because we haven't done the drain and we don't know what that looks like. So you're only done the filter. So, and that's the problem that we have. Most homeowners we go to say, oh yeah, we just changed the filter, but there's water everywhere. And that's because of the drain. You gotta make sure that you're maintaining those two things explicitly throughout the summer. I mean, if you don't, you have big problems.
How do you maintain the drain?
So either you have a drain you can, or you have a drain that you can't. And that's where we come in. And we have to cut it. We have to put stuff in. We have to take care of it for you. So, you know, that's kind of what it is. If you have an easy trap there, that's a safety, then you can pour water in one side and make sure it goes all the way through and make sure it drains all the way out. If when you're doing that, just don't pour a cup of water. A cup of water is nothing. So we have those clients that go, oh yeah, we just poured this cup in there. It took it all. But we go to do our cleaning and we pour a gallon in there and it stops it right up. Okay, so, 8 ounces of water compared to a gallon, it's just a totally different thing. But if you're thinking about it, and I really love when we get DIYers, because they really do try. These people are attentive. They watch what you're doing. They try to understand what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's a great thing to do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they change the filter and that's it. They don't have any clue that you go there and it's not running, and it's like, oh yeah, it just quit running, but I just changed the filter yesterday. So they don't think about it until something really happens.
Yeah. It sounds like homeowners need to get somebody like you to their homes to check things out.
Right.
Would you say twice a year is enough?
Absolutely. Okay. Get it done twice a year. Now, people have heard me say in the past, and I don't care which company you use. I don't really care. Whatever company you feel comfortable using, but make sure you get it twice a year, at least.
Gotcha.
There's some units that we do in the heat cycle that we do 3 times, because we do one maintenance, then we go back and change the filter and humidifier pad because the water is so bad, and then we do a spring maintenance. So there's kind of in that point.
To clarify, you guys do offer like a yearly service agreement, correct?
We do, yes.
Okay.
And you can pay for it yearly or monthly, whichever way you would like to do that.
Right on. Okay, we won't get into the numbers because I know those things change.
Yeah, they change, and the office takes care of all the numbers. I just have to abide by them. That's all.
I gotcha. Dave, what other questions do you have?
I mean, I'll tell you, I don't necessarily know about questions, but I will tell you the one thing I've learned, and I've heard Tommy speak many times, and I hear the passion in his voice. The one thing that I take away from it every time I hear Tommy talk about the HVAC industry is I am not a do-it-yourself, right? I have learned that it's so important for me to call somebody like Tommy to ask those questions and to have that service done and to make sure that it's done right. I mean, I know I've replaced HVACs and I know how expensive they can get. And from what I understand, the key to longevity is filters and maintenance and making sure that stuff is done properly. And I know, it's so important to have a relationship with a great company like Presidential and a great person like Tommy.
Absolutely. Sounds like it's no different than a car's engine. You take it for regular maintenance, you change your filters, you change your oils, you do, just the normal maintenance, and it lasts you longer. Right. HVAC is no different.
It's actually almost the same, because, like brakes, you don't change your brake every season, but you do get your oil changed every 3,000 to 5,000 miles.
Absolutely.
But, like a fan motor would be like a brake to us. So if the fan goes, we're changing it.
Absolutely.
If the heat exchanger goes, it really depends on how old it is or what our attack is going to be. Are we going to do a heat exchanger? Are we going to do a new system? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Now that's up to the person that's really there, the technician, on how he approaches and what the homeowner, how old the system is. So, I mean, it's great, my guys. I really love what I do. I really do. So I really appreciate you guys putting me on this channel.
And I have to ask you, Tommy, so what is the average lifespan of let's say, a heating unit?
Okay, so 2 different ways. Let's do this 2 different ways. If we'll do our gas furnace, the gas furnace will give us 15 to 20 great years if it's maintained. A heat pump will give us 10 to 12 great years if it's maintained. Boiler will give us 25 to 30 years of great service if it's maintained. So anything works into that general direction. If you don't maintain it, it's going to break faster.
Sure.
You know, if you maintain it, you have an opportunity to keep things running to its specifications, as we call it, manufacturer specifications, and that's what we try to do. And that's kind of how it works. So yeah, those are the ways.
And you guys can put warranties on all those things, correct?
Absolutely.
Very good. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Dave, Tommy, do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
No, Tommy, I appreciate you coming on today, man. Thank you so much. You have so much knowledge. It's almost ridiculous.
No, I thank you guys for having me on. It's
Absolutely.
really
And
to be with
we do plan on having Tommy on the show again towards the end of the year to talk about fall maintenance and stuff like that, and what people should do, before the winter hits. So, all right, if you guys have any questions for myself, for Dave, and especially for Tommy, leave them in the comments down below, please, and we'd love to get back to you and answer those questions for you. Also, as always, if you have any topics you'd like us to discuss in the future, also let us know, and would love to plan those out as well.
For sure.
All right, that said, Tommy, thank you so much. Dave, have a great day, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Have a great one.